Leaving your 9 to 5. This is a really simple and straightforward module, just that it may or may not be easy depending on where your mindset is at. This has three parts to this. Okay, your plan to securely exit your day job and go into remote closing full-time comes in three parts. Number one is your mindset. Okay, this is actually the key to so many things, your mindset. Number two, your strategy. And number three, what are you willing to actually do on a consistent basis that makes sense because of your strategy? Okay, that's in line with your mindset, so that eventually, progressively, and surely, you won't even think like an employee anymore. You won't even think as an employee anymore. You'll simply be operating from a different paradigm. You're asking different questions. You're having a different level of problems. And that's ultimately where I hope that you can push yourself to be. At its core, what's really happening, it's not about the job, and it's not about the struggles that we may be experiencing in closing. I mean, all these things, they exist, but they are not the root of the issue. We want to solve the root of the issue. Okay, and the root of everything is always in our mindset. It's in our beliefs. And at its core, there are really two types of people with two ways of believing in things. Some people believe that everything depends on our environment, something about our upbringing, how our parents were, or some kind of experience we had as a child, or whatever circumstances we are in. I have a self-sabotage, I have a problem with procrastination, I have a lot of fear, I don't know how am I going to do this, etc., etc., etc. And this list, it never ends. We have a whole industry of coaching and self-help and personal development just to deal with these problems. I belong to type 2. I simply believe that at its core, it's whether the person wants it or they actually don't want it. Because if they wanted to, they will find a way. They will do whatever it takes. So, as far as I'm concerned, it's never a how problem. And I'm going to explain why. Okay? It's always about having the right understanding about either whatever it is, a problem, a solution, a scenario. It's always, or even a sales call for that matter, it's always about having the right understanding and having the passion to keep going, so that you function not from a place of burnout or fear or reaction, but it's because you want to do it. It fulfills your soul. It brings you meaning, right? And if you have this too, for sure you will do it consistently, and then for sure you will have commitment. So the key that you have been searching for, it's not a how problem. It's not. I know some closers, every week they're asking the same thing. Hi, how can I quit my job? Or how can I transition out? Or they keep talking about very repeated things about leaving the job, not leaving the job, leaving the job, not leaving the job, leaving the job, not leaving the job, and months and years pass, they never leave the job, and they are still talking about that. And I don't want that to happen to you. Okay, if you don't find the key, then that loop, that cycle will always repeat itself. Okay, and I think you might know some closers who are in similar positions, right? You see them around and they are always in their job and they talk about closing, they talk about quitting, but they never ever do it. We're talking about years and years and years and years and years. But if you found the key, if you are able to have the understanding, if you're able to find your meaning, And if you're able to build that commitment, you really need your 9 to 5? At your absolute best, do you think you can close 1 sale a day? How about half a sale a day? How about 1 sale a week? Because in high ticket, if you can close 1 sale a week, bare minimum, worst case scenario, that's easily what, $2,000-$3,000 in USD, which can pretty much cover most of our bills, I think. So the paradigm that you think from can be either extremely dangerous, it can be a blind spot, or it can be extremely powerful. So think about it. And deep inside the paradigm, okay, we have our own definition of what it means to be safe, to be secure. Okay, if deep down it's unexamined, then the paradigm is going to control you. If your paradigm says, okay, our definition of safe is doesn't matter what we do, but every month there is a consistent guaranteed paycheck coming our way. Okay, that is safe. And if I don't have that paycheck, if I don't fulfill a series of tasks to receive that guaranteed paycheck, okay, then it's very unsafe and it's very insecure and it's very dangerous. I cannot deal with that fear. I cannot deal with that lack. I cannot deal with the overwhelm. I cannot deal with the pressure. Then fine. Stay in the job and be the best team player you can be. Some of you are in leadership positions. Be the best team leader that you can be. Do your job well. Okay, guide others, lead others, and advance in your career. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, a lot of successful people hold, basic positions, professional positions, executive positions. I don't really know what I'm saying right now because I've never actually had a job. So I own a martial arts school and then I transitioned to closing. So your definition of safe, okay, that is up to you. And what I am familiar with is, are you okay with it? Means the current situation. Because if, like I said, if you're okay, go and be the best employee that you can be. And work hard, give your best, enjoy what you do, deliver value. But I'm not okay with that, and I'm very clear that I am absolutely not okay with that. Why? It's because I'm selling my time away. And my time is my life. I do not want to trade my life away. I do not want to trade my hard work away just to make someone richer, and then I lose my time, I lose my potential to make money, and I lose my life. Because deep down I know that if we have the ability to do more, if we have the ability to learn more, if we have the ability to achieve more, why would we be okay with settling for a fixed paycheck and we are not being rewarded for our ability? We should be rewarded for our ability and performance. So that's my whole mentality on this. I do not expect everyone else to have the same type of thinking. I can only speak from experience. I can only share how I approach this, and if it helps you, that's great. Okay, if it doesn't, then you have to really go deep with yourself and really understand yourself and what you want to do for your life. Okay? When I sat down to plan for my closing career, I was in a position where I do not have a job. I don't have a plan B. I have nothing to fall back on. This was all I wanted to do. This is all I could do. This is all I must do at the time. And if you look at the yellow circle here, it says 2nd of April 2018 at 4:31 p.m. I sat down and I wrote my vision for my career. And I mapped out the month of April, May, June, and each month had a specific milestone. I was still doing copywriting back then, and I wanted to make enough money to transition and invest in learning how to close, so that by December I would make my first 10K month, and then consistently thereafter. And 1 month ahead of schedule, in December, my influencer messaged me and told me, hey, you've earned your first 10K in commissions as a sales director. Did you realize it? No, I did not. I didn't even remember, because the year had passed. And then I went to look at my notes and I realized, oh, I actually wrote this down. I actually had this goal. And before that, I was only making $50 an hour. Very, very tough hour. And to go from there to making 10K USD. I live in Singapore, okay? Make 10K USD a month in cash remotely. I realized I had succeeded. And if I told myself that, well, I'm okay with my old life, I'm okay with the comfort, I'm okay with the fear and the uncertainty, I would never have this thing today. Okay, so this is the whole mentality. And I hope this gives you the clarity you need to really think about this and make a strong decision for yourself and understand why. Part 2 is the strategy, and this one we will talk about the what and the how. Okay, first thing, in order to cover all your bills, in order to cover all your expenses, in order to cover whatever and everything you need to cover, what is the number that you need to have? The basic number. Okay, give me a rough estimate. It can change, and it should. So don't need to be really specific with this. I don't want you to overthink this. Just give me a good estimate, and I want you to write it down. Okay. Next, I want you to map all the numbers out that's gonna potentially lead to this monthly income goal achieved. Okay. What are the core numbers as a closer? The first one is obviously how many interviews you're gonna book, because you're not gonna get accepted all the time. Okay, but if you are getting interviews consistently, you will get accepted. And yes, not all the teams are ideal, which is why if this number has both the quality and the quantity, you will eventually find a great team that you can close consistently for. So interviews booked per day, that's one. Okay, what is the ideal offer price that you see yourself closing? 2.5k, 5k, 10k, 50k. Map out a number, doesn't matter. Okay, we can change it easily in the future. Okay, what is your percentage of commissions that you receive as a closer? Every single day, how many calls do you expect to book yourself? Okay, and of those calls, either you book or they are given to you, how many deals do you see yourself closing per day? Okay, map out some numbers. Okay, that's eventually going to give you your monthly income goal that will give you the confidence and security to permanently leave your job, to permanently leave the employee paradigm. Okay, now I'm not gonna BS you and tell you that you can achieve this overnight, because no one does that. Okay, I personally took 4.5 months to get here. Okay, my students take about 3 months on average, and it's different from everyone, so I cannot give you a fixed time, but there will be a time, okay, that we enter what I call the maze of darkness. Okay, the maze of darkness is a horrible, overwhelming place to be, but such is life. Such is, anytime we want to learn anything with a learning curve, the first 3-6 months is going to be tough. So you need to give yourself time to move up the learning curve to achieve these things. Is it 3 months? Is it like me, 4.5 months? Is it 6 months? And if you were to quit your job today to fulfill these numbers, how much money in savings do you need for you to survive that period of time that you are moving up the learning curve? So I want to see your monthly income goal. I want to see the numbers for interviews, offer price, commissions, book calls, close deals. You can have one variation, like a best case scenario. You can have a second variation, like a middle case scenario, and a third scenario for worst case scenario if you like. Some people like to do that, but even one scenario is fine. I only gave myself one, okay? But whatever it is, I want you to map out all your numbers, okay? And these things I can see for you, but there's one thing I can't do for you, and that is your decision. At the end of the day, who is gonna make that call to say, I'm gonna leave that old paradigm, I'm gonna leave the employee mindset, and I'm gonna do this? Okay, this one, there's only one person that can close you, and that person is yourself. And yes, there is a risk. Yes, it is scary. But is this scarier, or is being in your job forever scarier? You decide what is safe and what is dangerous for you. Then you will have your answer. Okay, I don't want to put my thinking on you. I want you to really think about what you want, and then whatever your answer is, go close yourself, and then you never look back. Okay, the third and final part, obviously, is to take consistent action. After you finish this module, I want you to go into our Facebook group, that's Sena.live, and make a post. I know it's uncomfortable, but this accountability is what is gonna propel you forward. It's what's gonna pull you to the level that you don't think you can be, but I know that you can be. Okay? In this post, what do I want to see? I want you to share the full details of your strategy. What does that mean? If you look at the description below this module, you'll see the exact structure, but essentially, okay, it is your monthly income goals, okay, the daily interviews you will book and attend, okay, the offer price that you'll close for, okay, the percentage commissions, how many calls you're gonna get booked or receive a day, and then how many deals you're gonna close. Okay, so this entire thing, we can see the numbers clearly. Okay, just as a projection. Doesn't need to be perfect. Don't overthink this. We're gonna refine this as we go. Okay, so share this as a post in our group, and then sign off with the hashtag strategic closer, so that in one click I can see everything. And if you like, you can print it out and paste it on your wall, so you know exactly what the plan is, where you're going. Okay, there's full clarity. Okay, there's no guesswork. Whether you want to use Word, Microsoft Word, or Excel is fine, as long as I can see like a big picture, then that works. Okay, now we have your schedule. Okay, from setting yourself up for success in your Google Calendar, we have your schedule, right? We know what you're going to do. We know where you're going to be at any given time and place. We have your numbers. So now we're going to put them together, and once you finish your action steps for this module, you can proceed to the next module.